test it to see what it looks like before we send it to people? Do we just send it to ourselves?
Yep, you can do that.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is show you what you're going to do is for smart plans, when you're creating them and when you are finding them, you're going to go to smart plans. It's the button that looks kind of like a to-do list with a little wheel at the bottom. It's the fourth button down.
Mm-hmm.
And yours is going to look a little different than mine because I just have a ton in here. So I think I have 30 plans. But what you can do is if you're interested in one, you don't want to there's no point in reinventing the wheel. What you can do is go to the library and say you're looking for one for like new buyers or new just listed or just closed. I'm just gonna mute everyone, and then if you have a question, you can just unmute yourselves.
Sorry about that, Reese.
No worries, not a big deal. So when you go there, you're gonna see that there's in the library. This is like what I call the public library, and then your My Smart Plans is like, okay, I took out a book, brought it home with me. Now it's in my home library. That's kind of how I go about thinking about it. Obviously, if that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. But you'll see there's Keller Williams Smart Plan. So the ones that you want to add are the biweekly neighborhood nurture, and you would just click add smart plan. It's not going to let me add them because I already have it. The quarterly call plan, the birthday plan, the monthly neighborhood nurture, and the promote my app plan, as well as you can add the home anniversary as well. Those are just good to have in your smart plan so that when you do get clients, you can add them to the home anniversary and to the birthday plan once you get their information. If you have your friends and family's birthdays, definitely add them to it. The way that you can see what's involved in that smart plan is a follow-up system to help you guys automate your business so you don't have to remember to do all these things. This either sends you a reminder or it does it on its own. So for the birthday and home anniversary, obviously those are things that it gives you a good excuse per se to actually reach out and have a touch with that client or customer. So the first thing is going to be for the birthday. If you just hover over the tasks, it'll tell you what it says. So the first one for birthday is a touch task to send a written note wishing them a happy birthday. And then 4 days later, you're going to give them a call. And the last one is to like write on their social post. The text will go out automatically. You can edit that to say like, obviously like happy birthday from Spencer or however you want to word it if you want to make it more personalized. The thing with the birthday plan and home anniversary, yeah, Rodney.
Quick question. So you have to go into each smart plan and edit to make sure your name is in there, correct?
If you want it in there, correct.
Got it.
I mean, you can't, there's certain ones you won't be able to edit, but I'll explain that when we talk about the neighborhood nurtures. So for the text, if you don't have Twilio, it'll remind you to text them. But the good thing is, even if you maybe want someone has a birthday and you're like super busy that day, at least you know that out of the 6 days, you'll be able to do one of those things. So you know, out of 6 days, you're going to either be able to send them a handwritten card, post on their Facebook, send them a text message, or give them a call. Obviously, you want to try and do all of them. You can't recreate the home anniversary or birthday plans because those are coded by KW to pull those parts from the contact. So those aren't things I've tried. You can't change it. So if you like those, use it. If not, then you can make your own smart plan and your own task if you want within the contact for that certain date to give them a call on their birthday. Obviously, this is a little less tedious because you would just add everyone to the smart plan. And then if they have a birthday in their contact, it would send you that notifications for that. Like I was saying when Roddy was saying that was that there's some smart plans you can't edit. So the monthly neighborhood nurture and the biweekly neighborhood nurture, those are neighborhood updates. So what those are is obviously either biweekly or monthly. The email will be sent out to your clients and it will show real-time market data of what's for sale in that area and some of the stats for that. So what it looks like is, let me try and get into my email. I can show you what it looks like. Obviously my marketing profile and stuff isn't all like updated because I'm doing the class every single week. So yours will have all of your branding on it. Neighborhoods, the way that they're populated is you either, if you have their address in their contact, it'll automatically give them a neighborhood of where they are. If not, you have to go in. Some people, what they'll do is if they're not sure where the people are looking and they just want to be able to send them updates, they'll do an area where they're really trying to focus on growing their market share. So say you're trying to grow your market share in Ridgewood, you would give everyone the neighborhoods in Ridgewood just to give them the ability they can add and take out neighborhoods as they please. So let me go into my email and let me find the neighborhood nurture for that. You guys have any questions on any of those smart plans? Everyone's good? Okay, let me just find that.
I think Roddy has a question.
Roderick,
Yeah.
what's your question?
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Struggling to unmute myself.
It's
Real
okay.
quickly, I have a renter that's looking for alerts for rentals. Can we just do something like that?
So I am going to show how you can send, like, as if you're familiar with a hot sheet, which is usually what you do in the MLSs. KW has launched it. You can do that within the system. The only thing is that for right now, because it is something new that they launched, it's only for sale. But I can kind of show you a way around that to give them those updates. And is this client that you have using the Save Search, using your app?
Not at the moment. I just sent it to them. So I've got two clients that are probably looking to buy a home within a year, but just want to rent for now.
Yeah,
So,
so the
which
one
is
thing
why-
that they can do is on the app, they can put all their filters. So for rent, price, whatever, 1,800 to whatever it is. And then they'll have that save search every time on their app. Or what you
Okay.
can do once a week, you can go to your website and put those filters in and send them that link and say, check out the homes that are on the market for rentals in your area right now. I'll show you how to do that. It's actually funny. Claire was just asking me, an agent just asked her. So
I'm the agent.
oh, you were?
And then I just realized that you were teaching this. So
Yeah. Well, then I'll show you how to do that. So
Great,
this
thank
is what the neighborhood nurture looks like. Obviously up here, it'll say either monthly or biweekly, depending on what you have it as. Your information, and it'll give them kind of an area view, what's the homes on the market, the average price, and it breaks down each neighborhood that they're assigned to. So to actually look at those neighborhoods, they would just click on explore, and it'll bring them to their personal neighborhood website. And in there, they can see every neighborhood that they're
Hey,
assigned
how are
to.
you?
Like obviously you probably aren't going to give them this many unless they really are looking everywhere. I just, add a new one every time I teach this class, and you'll be able to see what's on the market as if you were on your website, but it's more broken down into, specific areas. The great thing about this is for families, or people looking to be close to a specific thing. It really helps that because, like, say you want to be in Ridgewood, but they want to, only be 5-minute walking distance from the middle school or something like that. That's the great thing about the neighborhoods, that since they are broken down, you can really specifically find, okay, this is in the radius of where they're looking for and how close they want to be to the school. We'll start here, and then if there's nothing, fine, we'll go out a little bit and a little bit by, if there's nothing on the market. But that's what the neighborhood nurture looks like. If you want to apply it yourself, like Anne Marie says, you can always add any of these to yourself. I always love, you all should have yourself in your contacts from adding the app. So definitely use yourself as an example. If you want to see how things work, definitely do that. The smart plan that I created for new agents, I've created a few smart plans I shared, but one of them, what you can do is if you're ever interested, I'm going to start doing smart plans here and there. Instead of searching by smart plan name, you can actually do by author name. So then you just search Reese. And when that comes up, you'll see that I created I have a 38 touch plan for your sphere of influence. So that is a combination of the birthday, quarterly call plan, biweekly neighborhood nurture, and two tasks, so that you don't have to add the birthday, biweekly nurture, everything individually. If you add that 38 touch plan, it's all those smart plans combined. The other one that I created, someone gave me a 5-star rating. So the other one you can do is family and friends just join KW. That's just 8-day duration, just letting them know that you joined KW if they know of anyone. So if you're interested in that, like I said, you can always click view steps, take a look, see what it's involved with. But definitely, if you want to do that, give me a rating. Just kidding, you don't have to. It doesn't actually matter. But yeah, so you can use that one. All you do again would just be add smart plan. I already have it, so it's not going to ask me to. It's not going to let me, but you'll be able to change the name as well if you want to change it. So that's how you would do a smart plan. You can add bulk. So say, this next week, you're going to work on making sure every single person has a neighborhood. And then after that, you want to add them all to that biweekly neighborhood update. What you can do is you can just click this big checkbox, or if there's, a certain amount of people that you want to add to something, you just click on their checkbox. And when you click on it, on any of the checkboxes, it'll bring up this button. It's kind of like grayed out, so sometimes people can miss it. It says select bulk action. And in there, there's a ton of stuff you can do. But if you wanted to bulk add them to a smart plan, you can click add smart plan. You would choose whatever smart plan you wanted to, and it'll apply to all of them. You can also add bulk tags. So say you add a bunch of people from an open house and you want to add bulk tags to all of them, you can do that. And you can also, obviously, if you want to export their contacts, you can do that. Add a bulk note. Like if you did have all these people, they came to the open house, you want to add a note to all of them, they came to the open house on this day. You're more than welcome to do that. So definitely, smart plans are a great way. Yeah, Marie.
So just going back there, for example, with the neighborhood nurture, Reese, I can go into the bulk action and then I can add everybody to the neighborhood nurture at once.
Yeah.
Okay, and the neighborhood nurture will automatically pick whatever neighborhood is assigned to them.
Correct. Yeah, so that's why
okay.
That's one of the ones that you can't change anything to, because it is coded in the background to pick up that certain part in that contact.
What do you mean I can't change anything to it?
Like some people want to change the email up, but you can't. It's the way that it looks is the way that it looks.
So the bulk action for neighborhood nurture I could just send the neighborhood nurture to my entire database as long as each of my contacts has a neighborhood assigned to them.
Correct.
And then the neighborhood nurture will automatically send them the stats for the neighborhood attached to them.
Yes, and I did find that they do only last for the full year. So we didn't know that.
That was going to be my next question, because I put, like, I'm on a neighborhood nurture just so I see it when it goes out. And I was like, wait, I stopped getting them. But is that because the year changed?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So you might want to just write in your planner, like December 31st, make sure to add everyone back to the neighborhood nurtures on the 1st.
All right.
So that's what you do with that. The next part is something like I was talking about that Roddy brought up, was the save searches. So I'll just go into myself. So the save searches, the great thing about that is that these save searches, if they're using your app or website to search for homes, will actually be an option for them. But it's also a way to send out a hot sheet, if you're familiar with that, but from all the MLSs. So what you would do is go to save searches in your contacts. So you go all the way to the right. Our photos are probably covering it, but it's the last one all the way to the right. You would click create search. Now you can do it by neighborhood or zip code. So if you want to do it by zip code where it says neighborhood, you would just click on that and change it to zip code. If you want to do on neighborhood, click the find on map button, and then you always want to just search wherever you're looking, just to zoom in into that area, and then you can choose which ones you want. So for the zip codes, you can only do one at a time. For the neighborhood, you could go through here and click on as many neighborhoods as you wanted. So you can either set up different saved searches for different towns, or you can just click on all the neighborhoods and all the towns they're looking if you want to do that. And then you would click next. Oh, there we go. And you would put the price criteria in. Like I said, for right now, this is only for sale. But I'm sure they're adding the rental. This is just something new that they have put in command, so that's probably why. But obviously you probably don't want pending, so I would definitely unclick that unless, you're really struggling to find these people a home and maybe, you just want to show them that these things are flying off the handles. But I would probably do active and coming soon. Property type, you always want to click on, because if they're only looking for houses, you want to unclick everything. It's automatically going to click everything as an option. So you just want to make sure you go through there, unclick anything that's not an option for your clients. You can put beds, baths. I wouldn't put keywords because it's so specific that it pulls from the MLS. And if they don't have the keyword in the right spot, it doesn't work. So I really wouldn't worry about that. Obviously, if they want a pool and there's no pool in there, then, they're on to the next one. And same thing with living area, square footage. I don't think many people put that on the MLS, at least in New Jersey. So wouldn't put that either. Once you do that, you'll click next. Yeah, Roddy.
Sorry, can you do anything outside of your area? In other words, New York?
Yeah, you can do anywhere in the world.
Oh, got it.
You want to go to Italy? You can send them stuff for Italy. So
I have people that want to go either to PA or like northern, New York State.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah,
And
you
then
can
just
definitely
do
that.
referral then at that point, right?
Yep. And it's super simple in command that you can do that. And you can always, if you want to know how to do that, you can always come to the class, Sally and my class on Monday, and I can walk through that. So your saved search title, remember, they're going to see this too. So you want to name it something that your clients are going to be able to understand. So I really, if it's, say you're doing Ridgewood, I would do Ridgewood like criteria, because they're going to know what you talked about. Or if you want to be more specific, you can say like 500 to 700,000, 3+ bedrooms, whatever you want to put. Just make sure that's something your client's going to understand. And then you can just create that saved search for them. But if you want to send email notifications, you would turn this on. And then you would choose if you want them to go out instantly, daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. And then once you click on that, then when you create the saved search, they're going to have that saved search when they log into your website or app, but they're also going to get that email notification as well. So that's up to you. If you want to just create the saved search, you can. But that's how you would create that saved search. And it's pulling from all the MLSs. So, like if you're doing a place where it's on NJ and Garden State, that's why this can be better. Instead of you have to fill out both of them for NJ and Garden State and then send them through there. You can just do it right here. The other thing I wanted to show you was how to add a neighborhood. So if they don't have an address, they're not going to have a neighborhood. So what you would do is you would go into their contact, you would scroll down and you'll see neighborhoods, and you'll click add neighborhood. Again, like I said, you want to click find on map. And then you're going to type in, I would just type in the town that you're trying to zoom in on. And if it doesn't come up, just search, you just put NJ. So let's just say I was going into Ridgewood, it'll pull it, but then you can zoom in obviously more. And then you just give it a little time to populate all the neighborhoods. And as you get closer, you'll see more of the neighborhoods will populate. So you'll click on the neighborhoods, whatever you want to do, and you'll click save. I'm not going to add any more neighborhoods to mine. I already got a lot. But then what you have is a personalized neighborhood. Yeah, Anne-Marie, you can just unmute when you got a question, because I'm looking at my screen, not at you guys the whole time.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know if my mute button was on or not. Quick question for you about the neighborhoods. I mean, someplace like Ridgewood that has multiple neighborhoods, you can click all the neighborhoods for Ridgewood, but then if they get the neighborhood nurture, like say you click 5 neighborhoods in Ridgewood, are they then going to get 5 emails from you?
No, it's all in the same email. So as you can see, I have Prospect here, Chewy West here. So it just breaks it down in the same.
So it's all in one email. Okay.
Yep.
That's good.
So let's just say you want to send them this personalized link. You can either copy it or you can preview it. So basically it's like your website, but it's specific to just those neighborhoods. Same thing when they like the stuff, it'll still go into their contacts so you can see. They can obviously, add neighborhoods if they want. They can do the filters in here for themselves. So that's another way. I think it's good to send the neighborhood monthly update, but sometimes if you're really having them work on with your app and website, I wouldn't necessarily send this to them. Besides maybe in the beginning, just because they're gonna get confused and they might think, this is too many tools. So based on who your client is, I would say either send them the neighborhood nurture and the app, depending on if they're comfortable with technology or not. If they're not, then they might get a little too overwhelmed and you just want to stick with one tool for them to use.
So Reese, if they engage in any of this, if they like, do you see that?
That's
Yeah.
what I was going to ask.
Yeah. So you see it in the timeline. So as you can see, Reese viewed neighborhood prospect at this time on this day. It'll tell you what they're subscribed to, and it'll tell you the listing that they actually viewed. So if you're like, all right, I went in, I checked that person's contact today, you clicked on the listing. If it comes up and says, which I'm sure this one's going to since it's from November, could not load listing, there was an error. If there's not actually an error, it just means that it's not available anymore. Because since the KW websites are live, if something goes off the market, it's not going to be available anymore. So there's not actually an error. That just means that it's not on the market anymore.
Reese, I had a question too, to follow up on Roddy's question. That's what I'm thinking too. When people start engaging or clicking on things or doing things, how do we know? In other words, do we get notified that they're doing something, or do we have to go in and check our database every day? I mean,
Yes.
how do I know what they're doing?
Yeah, so KW's whole thing is that once you're using command, you really should be in command for at least 15 minutes a day. So you should be looking at your database. I can show you again, I go over this in my other classes, how to set up your database. So when you go there, your most recent people will be on top. So if they're liking stuff, they'll be most recently updated because they've been using either a tool, you've been in contact with them, they've been in contact with you.
Okay, so I need to go into my database every day, like you said, for about 15 minutes, just to check and see who's doing stuff.
Yes.
And I can set the database up, as you said, or is there a way to go into my database and click a button to check for recent activity?
Well, that's how you would set it up. It's like
Okay, I don't think mine's set up that way, but
I mean, it doesn't do it automatically. You have to do it yourself. So I can show you that now. I just wanted to I wanted to show Roddy how to do the kind of workaround to send the clients for the rental. So what you would do is you would go to your website, and let me just refresh this. And you would just search whatever their criteria is. So let's say it's for rent and they're looking in Ridgewood. It's so weird when it gets quiet in my apartment because they're drilling in my building. So it's crazy.
What in your building?
They're drilling in my building, redoing all the concrete and stuff. Oh, here they go. They just took a quick break. So what you would do is you would click on for rent, look up the place that they're looking. You would put in the filters. So let's just say 3,500 beds. They want 2 beds, 2 bath. What you would do is you would copy and paste this link, send it to them, because let's say I just go into a new browser, I paste that in there. Everything will already be filtered, and this is live. So say they use that link tomorrow, it's going to show them what's live in that moment. So until they add the for rent for the email notifications, this is kind of a way that you can do a little workaround for that.
All right.
And what you could do is you can make a smart plan and use that link in there, and then just have it go to them every 3 days or however often you want it to go to them. so that they have that live link that they can see what's on the market in the moment. So you would just make a smart plan that's just emails saying, hey, here's your update for today. And you would have that link in there. So that's kind of the workaround that I found for rentals.
So you go into your website, you set up the filters, you do the search, you copy the link,
Mhm.
and you send it to them. And
Yeah,
put it in
so
a smart plan, it goes off to them,
automatic.
whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great workaround. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's a great workaround for rentals. Obviously, I'll let you guys know when they do add that. I think they wanted to see how the for sale one went first. So now what I was talking about was setting your database up so that your most recent people are on top. So what you're going to do is you want updated to be your second column, or at least in the first few columns that you can see. So again, our photos might be covering it, but the customize column button is right over here. It's usually right next to, there's like a 3-dot to-do list basically. You would click on custom columns. Updated is probably going to be all the way on the bottom. All you have to do is click on it and drag it to the top. And then you would scroll down and click apply. Once you click apply, what you're going to do is click on update so the arrow is pointing down. When you do that, this save smart view changes button is going to pop up. You're going to click on that. So then every time you go to your database, that's how it looks. So as you can see, I had these people that opened an email yesterday. So that's why they are on the top of my database. If you wanted to see, hey, who haven't I talked to? What you can do is actually switch the update to the other way. And you can just click on this. You don't have to save it like this. Be like, okay, well, these people I haven't talked to since 2019. And that's a good way to, if you're trying to find people that you aren't sure who to lead gen with and that kind of stuff. So you can definitely do that as well. If you're kind of wondering who should I be calling today, you can always just click on the update and it'll show you from actual least amount of contact to most recent. So I definitely think that having the update column is good. So you can see who's, especially with your clients, you want to make sure that they are using tools that you're giving them and that you're reaching out to them. So if your client's not in, your first 20 people, then you probably want to reach out to them and just check in. How does everyone feel about that? Does anyone have any questions on any of that?
Getting back to the apartment, is it limited to just one area or can I do multiple areas?
For the website, you're saying?
For the rentals, yeah.
What you can do is you can click draw and you can actually draw radius, like if they are close together. If
Okay.
not, what I would do is I would do, like, say there's 3 towns they're looking in, they're not actually, right next to each other. What you can do is you can do, okay, say they're doing Ridgewood. I'll put that, copy that link, and you can say, here's the apartments that are available in Ridgewood, Waldwick, Wyckoff. And the way that you can do that, you can hyperlink a word. So you don't have to have that long, that URL is going to be really long.
Right.
So what you would do is, let's just go into one of my test ones.
So you could hyperlink it in Smartplans?
Yep. Because
That's
then
great.
you would just say, like, here's your weekly update. And then it would say, like, Ridgewood, Waldwick, Wyckoff, instead of being like this long URL, this long URL. Right. So what you can do is, let me just click edit here. So what you would do is also say Ridgewood. Oh. And you would just highlight it. And then on the top bar, you have this little link
Do the
button.
hyperlink,
And you
yeah.
can add that in there. So then obviously, because that link's going to be super long. So it's,
Well, that's great.
Yeah, and then you can just be like, click on these 3 neighborhoods to check out what's on the market today.
Now, in this case, you didn't edit the smart plan. Which one did you edit?
Oh, this is just one of my test ones.
Okay, got it. So in my case, I would just create it.
Yep, and that's what I was going to show next. I just want to make sure everyone was good on everything we talked about. Let me go back, discard changes. So the way, like I said, don't want to reinvent the wheel. Like, for example, for that, you're going to create your own for that because that's really personalized to a specific person.
Right.
But if you're looking to like set up something, I want to make sure I'm getting in contact with my sphere throughout the year for the people like my family. I know that they'll reach out to me if they have anyone, but it's good to check in with them. Don't like
Top of mind,
automatically
yeah.
go to creating your own. First look in the library and just type in the keywords like family, sphere, and just check out what's available because you can edit those ones. So say it's like one's all text, but you want to add emails in there, you can do that. So instead of
So-
doing it all on your own, you can just add to the ones that are available.
Okay, so can you save variations of it? Do a save as, for example,
What do you mean?
when you do an edit? Are you editing the one smart plan, or can you kind of save it, different variations?
You would just have to make a copy. You can't have like different
Oh,
versions
copy
of
it.
it without.
Okay,
Yeah, you can duplicate them. So that's what I would do.
so if
so
I
you just
find
click
it
three
in the
dots.
library or whatever, just copy it. Okay,
Oh no, if you find it in the library, you just add it directly into your smart plan. You don't need to like
Right.
save as.
but if I want to
Um,
make a change, copy and then make the change.
no, you can make the change in it. Just if you want like two versions, then
Yes.
that's when you would make a copy.
Oh, got it. Okay,
So what you would do is if you're creating your own, you would click create and you would name your plan. If it's something like, obviously sometimes you might just have one that it's like a one-time thing. Like say you're having an event or something like that, then I would be specific and like put the date that it's happening. So maybe if you do it the same thing next year, you can use the same smart plan. But if it's not something you're going to use constantly, I would definitely really specify the plan. The plan name isn't going to go out to anyone. It's just for you guys. But let's just say that I had an open house follow-up smart plan. And we'll click apply. And then it's going to bring me into the smart plan so I can create it. For the smart plans, on the left-hand side is your preview, and on the right-hand side is where you're adding they're called widgets. So on the right-hand side, if you know the order that you want everything to be in, you can literally just click like create task, make a call, delay, send them a text, delay, add them to the smart plan, delay. If you know the order, I think it's honestly best if you write down the order that you want, click on everything before you edit anything, because if I click on these and then I edit this and then I click on another one and then I'm like, by the time you add a bunch, you're going to be, oh wait, they updated it. I love when they do things that would be so easy to add. So originally you would have to like scroll up every time you wanted to add one once it got to a certain length. But now I guess they update it, so it just goes with it, which is awesome. So you don't have to worry about that. So you would add the widgets of what you wanted. So let's say it was creating a task, but it's not a touch task. So I'm going to click non-touch. And what I'm going to do is say add neighborhood. If I could spell today, of open house to, and you can actually do the person's name. So when you get that task, you'll know what contact you have to do it for. So if you click function, you can do first name, last name. You can also like do an email, which I'll show you what you would use that for. And then the task description, just say like came to open house, setting them up for smart plan. And then say you want to do a text the same day and just say, hey, thanks so much for coming to my open house. And again, you can add the function. That's what makes it personalized. Obviously, if you don't have Twilio set up, it's just going to tell you to text it, but you can literally like copy and paste that message into your phone. So you can do that. And the fun thing, you can add emojis for text too. And then you would set a delay. So anytime you want like a day in between, you can do up to 30 days. So that's your choice of what the delay is. Then the next thing you would want to do would be to add them to like your biweekly neighborhood update. If I can find mine. There it is. So now that you added them in neighborhood, when you add them to the smart plan that they're automatically gonna, have a neighborhood already. Then maybe you want to send them a task, say, hey, following up. And you can say, hey, function, first name, comma, thanks for coming to my open house. Here's something you want to do is give them your app. Whenever you're following up with people, you always want to give them a tool for them to use, because maybe they're not ready to actually talk to you. But if you give them something that they can use, maybe they'll start using it, and then you'll be like, all right, well, this person's obviously ready. I'll give them a call. So I would say whatever you're going to say to them, and then what you can say is, here is my app. You can say click here, and then as we talked about, you can hyperlink your app, or what you can say is, here is my app, and then you can do in parentheses or however you want to do it, and the function tool will actually pick up your app link from your marketing profile. So you can add that app link in there.
Could you do that again?
Yeah, that's a cool feature.
Yeah, so the function tool helps you really personalize the email that you're sending or text. So you can add their first or last name, email, phone number. The email and phone number I'll show you in the last task of like why you would add that in there. And then obviously the KW app link you can click on to give them that tool for them to use.
Okay,
Right.
so Reese, I'm sorry, can I back you up just for a second? Because, you know, it's technology. So if you were to do this, say you're setting up an open house follow-up. So you finish your open house, you come home, you're going to add all these new contacts into your command database, including their name and their email address. And in this case, this is phone numbers, because this is a text.
No, this is an email.
Oh, okay, so it's an email. So you make sure you have their name and their email address.
I mean, you want all their information. I would ask them for their cell phone number as well, if you want.
Correct, but for this particular example, we're using email addresses.
I
right?
mean, I'm using, there's a text in here too, but I'm more just
No, but
showing
for
you
this example, we're using email addresses, correct?
No, so there's a text in this smart plan as well.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me go back. I'm just trying to figure out, for example, open house follow-up. You know, you get home, it's Sunday evening, you got a gazillion people who signed into your open house. You want to put those all in your command database with as much information as possible, email address and cell phone number if they gave it to you. And then say I wanted to do an email follow-up for my open house. I could set this up and the function key would, like I could write one follow-up email, but the function key will allow me to it'll pick their name.
Correct.
The function key will allow me to automatically give them my app.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So then, like I was saying before, a function tool, like it might seem weird that you would add like their email or phone number in there. But the thing is, like, say you're at the end of the smart plan and you just want to, you know, give them a call. What you can do is obviously you can click make a call as well. But say you wanted to like check in there, or you want to make sure that you have their correct email and phone number, you can say like, hey, call. I mean, you don't have to put, hey, I just saying that out loud and then I typed it. Call. And I would always put first and last name, because especially for an open house follow-up, you don't know them right off the bat.
Right.
And then you can do like at, and then you could put contact phone number. So then you can do that, so that when you get that task, you'll just click on that phone number and you'll call that person. And then in the task description, you want to make sure you explain to your own self what you're doing, because if you have a bunch of smart plans playing around and then all of a sudden you get a task to call someone, you're like, but what am I calling them about? So what I always like to do is literally put like bullet points of like what was included and why they're on this smart plan. So say it's an open house follow-up, I would write open house follow-up. This is the second day or whatever, 6th day of follow-up. They've received a neighborhood nurture. They've received my app. I need to check in with them and see where they're at in their process. So make sure you're detailed with that so that when you are calling them, you know exactly what you're talking about. Same thing with the make a call. So you would just replace what I did in the task, but you would do it in the make the call. But yeah, so that's how you would create your own, and then you would just click save. I'm just going to discard mine just because I have so many test ones already. So the reason that you can see ones in the library are because agents have published them. If you made this amazing smart plan, you were like, you know what, I want to share this with the world. You can go over, click the three dots, and click publish to library. And then that would be published to the library for other agents to be able to download your smart plan and use. It's not going to affect your smart plan. You're just giving back to them of what they've, helping them, like I did with the family and friends, like Sphere of Influence, join KW1. So it's not going to affect your smart plan, but you can share it if you want to. Any questions on creating your own smart plan?
I don't think I'll be doing that for a while.
Yeah,
No,
same.
no, I think it's great. I
Like,
think
oh
it's
my
a great
God.
tool.
Harleen, for like you, I would go in and add the one that I created already. So
You
you
want to
can send
do
it out
that,
to your
yeah.
sphere,
Yeah.
and it's obviously you would think that your friends and family would make sure, if anyone's looking, but sometimes people forget and they're like, oh wait, like Harleen is in real estate, like she can help my cousin or whoever's asking. So it's
No, I bet.
always good just to
Right.
keep top of mind, even with people that should be referring you.
No, I meant I'm going to add all the ones that you suggested and the ones that you've done. I don't think I'm at that point where I'm going to
No, yeah.
create my own yet. Not just yet, but
No, yeah. And like I said, like that, the thing is with the library, maybe you might never even have to create your own because people are posting in there every day. Maybe you find everything you want in a smart plan every time you look, maybe it's there. So,
right.
but again, like I said, I teach this class every week. So maybe in a month or two, you want to create your own smart plan, you can always come back.
Right. Okay.
Any other questions?
I have two questions for you, Reese, and maybe you went over them in the very beginning, but so my first question